Hello students, now we shall look at module 3 in energy engineering, that is on solar energy. So sun is the main source of energy for planet earth, and the solar radiations which come to earth, they comprise of ultraviolet light, visible light as well as infrared light. Okay, so the amount of solar radiation what we get depends on which location it is there, latitude, longitude, and then time of the day, different seasons, landscape, and even the local weather. So India is fortunate that we get almost solar radiation for more than 300 days in a year, and almost for every meter square of area in India we get solar radiation of 5 to 7 kilowatt hour. So now let us see one more thing in solar light is because the earth is round, the sun strikes the surface at different angles ranging from 0 degrees, that is just above the zenith, to 90 degrees, that is directly overhead. Okay, 0 degree is like x-axis horizon and 90 degrees is directly overhead. So when the sun rays are vertical overhead, the earth gets the maximum possible energy, and when it is slanted, so the sun rays, longer they have to travel, and that is why they are scattered and diffuse. Just I think one sketch I'll explain here. What is this? Nowadays people are installing solar photovoltaic units in front of their on top of their rooftop, that is grid connected. So say 10 kilowatt, 20 kilowatt they are installing at that. So whatever electricity, the sunlight falls on the solar panels, photovoltaic panels, it produces DC current, that direct current. Then it is connected to inverter. So inverter converts that DC current into AC current. So some part of that will be used in the house, okay, to run the appliances, and whatever balance is there, that is sent to the meter, and from meter it is sent to the grid. So this meter is known as bidirectional meter, means it has got two directions. It can also when it is sending, it will measure how much power it is sending to the grid, and when in the night time when sunlight is not there, then it has to draw the current from the grid. So it will take the current from the grid, so it will measure on either sides, incoming power as well as outgoing power from the house. So this is called as bidirectional meter. Now let us look at one term called solar constant. Solar constant means this is earth. You can see left side there is sun, and this right side there is earth, and over the earth they have put atmosphere. Earth dies around 12,800 kilometers, sorry, and this atmosphere, it is shown here. Now you can see what is solar constant. Solar constant means the rate at which solar energy, we have discussed, that is ultraviolet, visible as well as IR, all wavelengths, is received per unit area at the top level of Earth's atmosphere. Now you have got earth here, you have got atmosphere. Above the atmosphere, when the sunlight is coming, means there is no air there, okay, and the only atmosphere air is there. Beyond that there is no air. So here at this place, what is the amount of energy which comes? That is known as solar constant. So that energy is 1368 watts per meter square. Got it? So this is one term, and for easy understanding we say that it is 1350 watts per meter square. This is solar constant. Not on the sun, not on the earth, sorry, at the outside the atmosphere, when the sunlight is entering the earth's atmosphere, that time. Next, now let us look at solar radiation. Now solar radiation means you can see sun on the top, left hand top, and bottom you have got the earth. Now direct, some rays are coming directly from the sun to the earth. Okay, some are absorbed by the clouds and reflected also, and some rays are reflected by earth also. Okay, so you can see that there is some incoming radiation from the sun and there is some outgoing radiation also, whether it is reflected by clouds or reflected by earth or hot emissions from the surface, okay, or emissions from the clouds itself, or emissions by the water vapor and carbon dioxide. So solar radiation, part of it comes to the earth, part of it is reflected back. Now, what is called as solar insolation? We have seen solar constant. Solar constant means the amount of solar energy which is coming just at the earth's atmosphere. Now what is solar insolation? But I am not interested. No? As an engineer, you are not interested how much sun energy is coming outside the atmosphere. You are interested in how much I am getting by at my house, rooftop, how much I am getting. So that we measure as solar insolation. So as discussed, solar energy, part of it gets reflected, part of it gets absorbed. Okay. So the solar energy which comes on the earth, the average solar energy incoming radiation is known as solar insolation and is almost like 1/4 of the solar constant, and it is on 342 watts per meter square. So on an average 342 watts of energy, solar energy comes onto the earth. Actual this is, and so India on an average receives almost 300 to 330 days of solar energy. Why I am telling this repeatedly is because in Europe and all, you hardly get sun for 100 days. We are lucky that we get sun for 300 days. Now let us look at we will look at how the solar radiation reaches. Now left side you can see there is a surface, and top center you have got the sun. So again you see here, please watch this carefully. Sunlight, direct radiation is falling. You have seen these 5 arrows, directly it is falling on the surface. These are tilted surface, the sunlight is falling. So this light which is directly falling on the surface is known as direct radiation. Okay. And any other radiation which is coming, now you can see to the left there is a sky, clouds, and the sunlight is hitting the cloud and reflected back, that is coming to the surface. Okay, or some other surface, some other buildings, that reflection is coming. Those radiations are known as diffuse radiations. Reflected radiations or diffuse radiation. So there are two types of radiation. One is direct radiation which comes directly from the sun, and second is which gets reflected either by clouds, other surfaces and all. This is known as diffuse radiation. So if you can see here, the left side is direct beam radiation. Beam radiation is a direct radiation coming from the sun. Diffuse radiation is after reflection, what is coming, that is known as diffuse radiation. And if you join both of them, beam radiation and diffuse radiation, you get something called as global radiation. Global radiation is sum of beam radiation, that is direct, as well as indirect, which is coming after reflection. Okay, so beam radiation, as we have discussed, are parallel rays, and they require focusing type of collectors and require reflecting surface to track the sunlight. So there is some device called tracking of the sun, because as you see, though sun is stationary and earth is moving, it feels that the sun is moving. Okay, what happens? The sunlight then it comes from the horizon 0 degrees to the vertical and then goes back to horizon, so 180 degrees. So when the sun comes, so we want to track the sun so that the maximum amount of energy whatever we are getting on the surface, whether it is a photovoltaic surface or a solar thermal receiving device, it should receive directly beam radiation and not diffuse radiation. That is why you have got something called as tracking device. The diffuse radiations are scattered rays. So flat plate collectors are efficient, what we are using on our house tops for water heating. Focusing type collectors are not good for diffuse radiation because their energy is already lost. And sun tracking collectors could give more efficient collection, but they are expensive because you have to install that device. And these diffuse radiations are for low temperature applications, whereas beam radiations are for high temperature applications. And global radiation is a combination of beam and diffuse obtained during non-clear sky, and flat plate collectors are more efficient. Now we will see how we are measuring this solar radiation. Okay, so there are many devices. We will discuss some devices here. One is the pyranometer. So pyranometer is used to measure the global solar irradiance. Global solar irradiance means beam plus diffuse radiation. Okay, so sunlight coming from all directions. Now you can see here, this is the instrument. Okay, we will see this instrument. Now this is a small like around 6-inch diameter device. There is a black absorbing surface. You can see in the center there is a black absorbing surface which is connected to the ambient temperature compensation and then electrical readout. So, and it has got a glass cover. This hemispherical glass cover is there. So this device, as good as our hands, we keep in the sun. So what happens when we keep in the sun? You can see direct beam radiation is also falling, and the diffuse radiation is also falling on the black absorbing surface. So when I keep this pyranometer on the earth surface or any flat surface, I can measure the global radiation, which is the sum of direct radiation as well as beam radiation. Okay, and because the radiation is falling on the black absorbing plate, and the heat should not get lost, so there is a insulation below the black absorbing plate. Now, but in real life, you use this solar photovoltaic collectors as well as solar thermal collectors. You don't mount it parallel to the earth. You mount it at an inclination. So this pyranometer, you can see bottom now, it can be used to measure the beam radiation as well as diffuse radiation at an inclined position also. You can see here, parallel to the earth also you can measure, as well as inclined to the earth also you can measure. So this is known as pyranometer. So basically they have thermocouples attached. Black absorbing surface has got thermocouples attached. Okay, that is known as thermopile. But now they are planning for a silicon photovoltaic cell, PV cell itself, as a cheaper alternative. So next we will see pyrheliometers. So in the pyranometer, what we have seen, pyranometer is used for global radiation, that is beam radiation as well as diffuse radiation. But if you are just interested in direct beam radiation only, I am not interested in diffuse radiation, then there is a device called as pyrheliometer. So you can see the it is nothing but a long tube, okay, which will be aimed at the sun, and again it will be having a tracking device because the sun will be moving, no? So it will have a tracking device. So it will be within the acceptance angle of 5 degrees from the earth. So the sun will be directly falling onto the black tube, and it has got a 2-axis tracking mechanism to maintain the sun disk within the acceptance cone of the instrument. So you can see the normal incident pyrheliometer, NIP, normal incidence pyrheliometer, used to measure the direct component, that is beam radiation. You can see the long tube which has got blackened inside, and you have got the black absorber plate, and there are thermocouples, that is called as thermopile here, and bottom of the back absorber plate there is an insulation to prevent heat loss, and these thermocouples are connected to temperature compensation device, and there will be a finally electrical readout. So we have seen a device to measure global radiation, that is pyranometer, and then we have seen pyrheliometer, which is used for measuring diffuse radiation, beam radiation, and now for measuring the diffuse radiation. Okay, the pyranometers can be modified to measure only the diffuse component. Now, how you are going to measure the diffuse component? If you block the beam component, then the rest component is diffuse component only. Okay, so how to block? By putting a shadowing device. By putting a shadowing device, so the sunlight directly does not fall onto that. Okay, this is the shading ring pyranometer. You can see here. So this top semicircular thing, that is a shadow ring. Okay, that will be moving. And center you have got the device. This is known as same pyranometer only, but it has got a shading ring only to measure the diffuse radiation, not the beam radiation or direct radiation. And there are something called sunshine recorders also nowadays. Sunshine recorders will, as I was telling, in India we have got sunshine for 300 days and almost every day 10 to 12 hours. So these all data we get it from the sunshine recorders. And nowadays I think all new technology, you got satellites also. So satellite can watch and take pictures and give better data.